So I was talking to your manager and producer, Alex. He said you're planning to release your new album in April. So
Planning.
what can fans expect from your new album?
You can expect pretty much, the same style of music. It's country,
Hmm.
but we've also kind of crossed the barrier a little bit of not testing limits and going its different direction. But um, I think we added more upbeat
Okay.
music. I think a lot more upbeat songs, same style lyrics. I think just more the same. I mean, it's a little different. It's a little the
Right.
same. I don't know how to answer that question. Um, let's see. I'm trying to find a better answer for you.
So you said more upbeat, like some more songs like Darling, stuff like that.
Yes, okay, yeah. So we have a lot more songs. Like, okay, so I guess my goal with this was to follow up each song that we released that kind of
Okay.
got attention. So like the top 10 songs, I try to follow those up in a unique way.
Hmm.
We have a lot of love songs, but we also have some drinking songs, and we also do have some, some of the sad stuff. But I think this album is a little different. I had a chance to write with some of my good buddies here in Nashville, and a lot more of different writers as well. So
Okay.
you get a taste of some of the same, but then also different because I wrote with some different people too, which was actually really cool.
So who have you been collaborating with the most? Any
Uh,
like
geez, Terry McBride has been one of the biggest that I've been writing with in this town quite a bit. Some of my buddies, Tyler Chambers, Jordan Fletcher. Let's
okay.
see. Gosh, let me pull up. I can't tell you how many freaking songs we wrote this year.
Really?
It was a challenging year for me as a writer and a artist in growing. I've never had a year like this to where I actually had the time to be in Nashville every day of the week and write. So this year was a challenge for me in a good way. I learned a lot and in the whole songwriting world, and so I've written with quite a bit of writers, Brett Beavers and Bart Butler, Andy Wills, Bryce Long, and just some of the people that I've written with.
So is your new record already? Is it done already? You're just like
It's done. It's done, man. It's
wow.
just we got to do the mixing and mastering.
Okay.
Vocals are finally done. That took a long time. I have terrible allergies, which freaking sucks.
Right.
You're trying to cut an album and you sound stuffed up. It kind of puts a damper on that. But
How many songs you looking at?
so it was kind of funny. We were supposed to do. My manager had planned for 10, but we had written. I don't know how many songs. We've written a ton of songs. We cut down to 18 recorded. So we recorded 18 songs of the ones we've written, and kind of cut it down to 15.
Okay.
And then, so the plan was to release 10. So what I did was I cut out my manager's 3 favorite songs on this list so that we could get 13 on there. It actually worked. So we're shooting for 13.
Okay. So are you going to put out some of the same ones on this record that you've already put out before? Like
no, it's going to be all brand new songs, all new brand new songs. What we're going to be doing is releasing about 4 singles before the record.
Okay.
Try to get playlists on Spotify, but 4 singles first. We're going to shoot for late January for the first 2. First, maybe the one. We haven't decided yet, but we're going to be releasing one in late January.
Okay, yeah, I saw your video on Instagram the other day. Of you like stuff like you're like doing the vocals or something of like.
Yeah. Man, I've been shooting the gun a little bit too much on social media. I need to keep quiet.
Nah, I think it's good to keep active, keeps everyone engaged a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll be exciting. So 13 songs then.
13 songs, man. So 13 songs and 4 singles in January and February.
And do you think you're gonna send any to radio or anything? You hoping
we're gonna try? That's the goal. Hopefully, that's the goal. We have a plan. I'm not gonna quite say it yet. It's kind of in the books right now, but yeah, we're gonna try to hit radio a little different this year.
Okay, because before you were basically more just like Texas radio and stuff, right?
Man, we didn't really put our focus on radio. Honestly, it kind of just happened naturally. Yes, we got Mario Flores doing the radio in Texas, but our focus was really just building a foundation this last year, social media wise and Spotify numbers, and Apple and all the streaming sites was really just building foundation and just letting it happen itself.
Right. I feel like it's so different for like every artist right now. Like everyone's approaching it so different, like in the streaming era, because there's like other ways to distribute your music, like TuneCore and DistroKid, stuff like that.
For sure.
Because like even like you look at someone like Zach Bryan and stuff, he's not doing any radio, anything. He's just all streams.
But see, and if you get enough attention and numbers, it almost happens naturally. You know, those radio stations that can play that kind of stuff will pick it up, you know, because they want that traffic, they want that attention. So
Yeah, I think Luke Combs started out just like that, like
yeah, 100%.
with like Hurricane stuff. I know he recorded that, and then he just kind of went viral a bit, and then he eventually got picked up by I guess his manager was with him the whole time, but then
Yeah.
they have that like joint deal with like Sony, him and like River House or whatever.
Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah, for sure.
Different for everyone.
Yeah.
So I asked you about your collaboration. So then you sent you can send songs to radio. So your music maintains kind of a traditional sound, which we talked about in that one article. But how do you kind of keep it country and stuff when like a lot of other artists are heading toward like pop and stuff? Like what makes you stay in that lane?
And I make music that I would like to listen to as a fan,
Right.
what I would love to listen to, if, you know, as a consumer or listener. I grew up on a mix of country and not mix of country, mix of genres. I mean, growing up, I was listening to Michael Jackson, my dad's Blazer. I loved Michael Jackson growing up. And Korn, we were listening to Korn. I grew up listening to all sorts of music, heavy metal to the, you know, old country.
Right.
I definitely, main genre that I listened to was country growing up. My dad and mom always had it on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I try to not always put the same sounding songs. I try to make it unique in its own way. But again, I go in the writer's room with an idea of just making music that I think I would love as a fan and kind of just creating music that I love. So I don't necessarily try to follow a trend or
right.
you know, a certain sound. I just make music that I love to make, and I got blessed with the right team that loves and has the same passion as me, so it works out even better.
So I guess you kind of briefly touched on this, but so you've had a lot more time to write this year, you were saying. So have you felt like more inspired like to write this year, or if you like struggle at all to find anything to like write about? Because I know some artists have said like, you know, just like they don't know what to write about like while it's like lockdown and stuff.
I wouldn't say I struggled with inspiration. I think I struggled to stay motivated when you ran out of ideas and you have 10 more rights on your calendar or 15. You're like, oh, right. I don't know what to do. I came into this year pretty good on the idea part. Like I had quite a bit of ideas just written down in a notebook, and you know, if something hits me different, I'll put it on my phone, write it in my notebook, and it might sit there for months. So I kind of got lucky having stuff saved up from the past.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, it wasn't difficult on the idea part, but when it was starting to run out, I was kind of worried because you can't do anything. I mean, I get inspired by real life events. That's just how I write. That's where I get my ideas from. So when you're not on the road or when you're not, you know, doing what you usually do, it does make it tough to find inspiration.
Yeah, it's been so mixed. I feel like I've heard some artists and stuff like I've heard Maren Morris say like she hasn't been writing really at all, but a couple weeks ago, or I guess a month or so ago, we went to a press conference with Parker McCollum, and he was saying that like he's been, I think, writing quite a bit more and stuff. He's been able to find time and inspiration and stuff. So
I will say this: I mean, having the time though has made me kind of write a lot. I mean, writing a lot more has really built up my inspiration, I guess you would say. Being forced to write too, you know, having a scheduled write rather than just writing some ideas down when it pops in your head, kind of helps me grow as a writer too. And I'm actually thankful to have the time this year to really.
Have you toured a bit then this year too, or
what was that?
Toured a bit this year, or not too much?
You know, in January, February, March, it was normal. We were touring from Thursday to Sunday on the weekends with Aaron Watson. We had January, February, March filled with Aaron Watson shows, and then we got Randall King as well. And he's a great buddy of mine. He's really helped me out and really put me in front of his fans, which is amazing. But
got that new EP out today.
I know. I got to go listen to it. I haven't yet. Don't tell him.
Okay.
But no, it was supposed to be. I mean, we had this whole year planned out, and then COVID hit around March. We had to pull some dates back. We got to tour maybe August, a little bit of shows. We did Pat Green. We did another Aaron Watson show. And then we did about 4 or 5 headline shows, and that's about it. We cut the plug, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, a month ago, and we're done for the
So you've been doing some smaller shows still, and like
no, we're gonna just cut it out.
The past couple months you have been?
I haven't. I think our last show was in maybe late September.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen like I guess it's like all different, like state to state, but I've seen Texas, they're still doing quite a bit of
Oh yeah, it's
touring stuff. Like I saw
it's
Cody
open.
Johnson did a show like a night or two ago at Billy Bob's in Texas.
Yep, for the
So
NFR, yeah.
it seems pretty cool. It's maybe some people are still going, but it's so mixed, I guess. But
It is. You know what? One thing for me is this album is so important to me. I wanted to really just take this time and get everything right here and focus on this. You know, and our plan as a team is really just to hit 2021 hard. And you know, this album is a big part of next year's plan. And so I really just wanted to put my mind and complete focus on this album, getting mixed, getting it, you know, mastered and all that, you know, the promotion part of it, marketing part of it, and all that is kind of in gear so that 2021 comes, we started off, you know,
right. Yeah. So the kind of like, I think you're gonna have like a big 2021, like it's because I don't know how really you weren't too much on my radar too much until like I told you I was at Losers, and then someone like my roommate was like, hey, these people know Randall King or whatever. And we're like, oh, really? It's just some random couple, probably like mid-30s, and we start talking, and they're like, you listen to this guy. So they pull up your music then, and they start like, they put like their phone up to my ear, like, they're like, listen to this, like in the middle
That's
of
awesome, man.
loud. I was like, well, that's pretty good. It was weird, but
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, Randall, he's helped me out a ton. I mean, there's a tons of artists in Texas that have helped me out a ton. Aaron, a bunch of those guys out there really let me in front of their crowd as a new artist, and it definitely helped for sure.
So kind of more, and then I guess kind of more not just your music, kind of more personal questions. So is there like ever a tipping point that like made you just say like, man, I just got to go out and pursue country music as like a career?
You know, it's always been a thing for me, and it's a hard question to answer. I had this plan started out pretty early. My plan really was to go to college and you know, play some kind of sport. I was big in baseball, so high school baseball was my thing. I actually got hurt in baseball, wasn't able to play my junior year. I was starting to gain traction on YouTube. I did YouTube a long time ago and didn't tell anybody. So that year, I hated school anyways. The only reason why I did it was for baseball. So if I couldn't play baseball, I hated school. There's no point, is what my mind was saying.
Save a lot of money, that's for sure.
What was that?
You save a lot of money, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. Shoot, I don't know at this point. But so I've been I actually went to Nashville my Christmas break with my mom, and it was the craziest trip. It was 2014 or 2015. I can't remember exactly the year. I think it was 2014. It had to been 2014. Yeah. We saw Luke Combs play at Belcourt Taps, and it's a tiny, tiny songwriter room. They do a round every Tuesday, I believe.
Okay.
And he sang, Hurricane, One Number Away, and a couple other songs that were on his first record. And I kind of followed him when he not first started, but he had like 5,000 Instagram followers.
Right.
And he was building his, I think it was Vine maybe at the time.
He was on Vine, yeah.
Yeah. So I was a huge fan of him even before he blew up, but and he was with his same group. So we saw him. The next night we went to the listening room and we saw Chris Stapleton. And it was the craziest thing. Like there was maybe 20 people there. And I just fell in love with the whole vibe of Nashville. You know, I was really falling in love with music, but that really sparked it because being around a city that loves and is just surrounded by music, it was a new feeling for me, and I fell in love with it instantly. I actually dropped out of high school.
Okay.
And moved to Nashville. I moved to Nashville pretty early. I was 18 or 19 and played at Tootsie's here in Nashville for about 3 years. Kind of just worked my way up to getting confident enough to you know, meet people and get in the writers circles and the whole writing scene. But it started early on, man. That's kind of when I didn't really know if it was going to work out. And, you know, I had my struggles for sure. I got blessed meeting Alex. He's helped me out a ton, and I couldn't be, you know, starting out where I am right now without him for sure. So I got lucky, and I'm very lucky to be here. So
yeah. So Alex, so how'd you guys really cross paths then?
It's actually a funny story. We met at Losers, to be honest with you. Yeah, we met on the roof of Losers.
When I heard about you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were on the roof of Losers, and it was pretty funny. I just released Out on the Dance Floor. It was one of my first songs that I ever put on Spotify, and I guess he had heard from me from Texas Music Pickers. I'm not sure if you follow them or anything, but they're a big group that puts out music. And I guess him and the guy that runs that company, Chris, had talked about me, and we sure enough, we just met at Losers one time randomly. It was 2 a.m. I was not in the right state of mind. I was a little too deep on the beers. And we ended up talking, and I got his number, and we just stayed in contact. And I moved back to Houston after about 2 years or 3 years in Nashville. I moved back to Houston to really hit the scene there by myself. And I met Alex. He just kind of, it was so quick too, because I worked at a machine shop, and he was like, "Hey man, you need to come to Nashville. Let's have a meeting. Let's get an EP out. Let's do this. Let's do this." And then I think it was like August, I was working at a CNC mill shop, and then December I had an EP all full recorded. I was like, "Holy crap, this is cool." And then January we were touring. So
right, and he helps produce your records too, correct?
He does. David Dorn as well. Yeah, so I'm surrounded by great people for sure.
Jack of all trades, I guess. So
Alex is yes, jack of all trades for sure.
So do you have like a best career moment yet? Like a moment that was just like
best career moment.
Kind of like remember, like was there a show or something, or?
There was. I think playing Green Hall. So Green Hall is legendary in Texas. And we were playing a show with Randall King. He had sold it out, and we had the crowd sing back "Darling" to us, and I thought that was pretty cool. That's probably like one of my memorable moments so far. So
is that the video on like the little Spotify on your Spotify for Darling?
No, that was a fun show too. That was at Cheatham Street.
Okay.
They got loud on that one too, but just for them to sing it at Green Hall was pretty fun.
Right. I can imagine just hearing your song back. It's kind of surreal. Just
it is. It's
a weird feeling, I guess, probably. So then what's like the best music related advice someone has given you?
Let's see. Best music related advice.
Or just career advice, anything like that.
Gosh, there's so many.
Well,
well, it's just I've been really blessed with great people that have really propped me up and helped me. And there's been so many people that have given me great advice over the time. But I say just never give up. I mean, this business is tough. It'll knock you down hard, and it'll keep knocking you down. Sometimes you won't have a good day for, however long, but I think it's just, you just got to keep pushing through. I think one thing that I remembered when I first moved to town was, it's very discouraging. It can be discouraging when you move to this town because it's so overwhelming. I mean, there's so many other people that are in your same shoes, even way better than you. It's just, but someone has said Nashville doesn't care if you ever leave. It's just going to keep on rolling. And I'm like, well, that's a good point. So I guess you just got to keep fighting. You got to keep fighting and working hard and never giving up. And just, I think you got to also remember that you have your own journey. You can see this guy over here succeeding way faster than you, but sometimes, you got a different path, you got a different journey. So that's to keep in mind too.
I continually hear again and again, like everyone says like, oh, it's, it's a 10-year town. I constantly hear that more and more, it seems like. And I don't know if you know the Haley Whitters song, 10-Year Town, that I think kind of puts it into perspective pretty well.
It does.
Like, especially the line about there's a girl like fresh off the bus, she like cut in front of the rest of us and then I watched a little documentary after, and she said that that girl, she saw her becoming a star while she was still just like waiting to rise. And pretty interesting.
No, it's a tough town, but you know what? You stay here long enough, you'll meet buddies that make you feel at home. And I got lucky too to surround myself with some good friends, and they kind of make it feel less away from home and more like home. So it's good.
Right. Yeah, it's always good to find a circle. So then, in terms of music, who would you consider to be your biggest influence?
So right off the bat, I mean, I could say George Strait, and obviously I think that's everybody's. But I'd say the biggest one that inspired me the most would be Cody Johnson. So he's from Huntsville, which I'm from Missouri City area, which is Southwest Houston. I think we're about an hour and a half, maybe cities apart. I remember seeing him. I didn't know who he was at the time. This was maybe 2014. No, I was a sophomore in high school, maybe 2013. And my buddy was like, "Hey man, we gotta go to the fair. We gotta go watch this guy, Cody Johnson." I'm like, "Who's this guy? I don't know." And so we drove, and I was like, "Holy crap, this is crazy." There was maybe 200 people there. and I got to watch him grow in his career. We had a good time going out there in high school. In Texas, it was fun. You would show up, pre-party in the parking lot, show up to the venue, and then go down to some ranch party right after. So Cody Johnson knew how to throw a good time for sure. But I remember just falling in love with the music, the sound, the countryness of it. You know, it's raw, it's real. His songs, you can tell, were just from him. You know, it wasn't generated by anything else but his life, his personality, his artistry. And I think that's one thing that really inspired me the most was how real he was as an artist. There's no cover up. It's just him.
And I think it's crazy, kind of like you said, like 200 people at that show, and now,
Oh yeah,
like what he sold, he was like what the only independent artist to like sell out Energy Stadium or whatever.
I know. And so I look at that as, like I said, he's been doing it for I don't know how long, longer than 10 years.
Yeah.
And I always look back when I do get discouraged. I look back at that night that I did go to that county fair, and then I went to that sold out show at the Energy. And like, you know, things work out in its own way. You just got to continue to pound on it, you know?
Yeah. It's really crazy. Now he's been rising, like, I guess kind of partially because of TikTok too.
Yeah.
Like his song "Diamond in My Pocket." That was like, I think on his like maybe like his first album or whatever. And then
that's the song. I think it was his first album, but that's the song that really, like, in high school, we freaking died for that one. That was a good song. It still is a good song, but
right.
That's what made me fall in love with his music, was that song. And
okay.
People would dance in Texas. It's a whole different story. That they just dance to that song for sure. That's cool.
Right. Yeah. I feel like Texas kind of keeps its roots a lot better than a lot of other places and stuff. But
yeah, well, you know, shows there, it's crazy. You'll see artists that just want to freaking raise hell, which is fun too. And you also have the artists that have in the front, you'll have the guys that just want to drink. The girls and guys just want to have a good time and party. And then half of the dance floor, they're dancing in the back. It's kind of cool. But I was there when Cody had that half in the front partying, and then had the half in the back, and then it just got so big that there was no dancing room anymore.
Right. Yeah. I've only seen him once. It was like in an amphitheater, so it wasn't quite the same experience. He like opened up for Luke Combs. That was, I guess, like last year or something. But
yeah, oh, man, I mean, it's crazy what he's done in his career, and so much success, and it's awesome to see.
So is he your favorite then artist? Who's your favorite artist then today? Or
gosh,
I guess
favorite artist today. You know, that
probably a tough question.
It is. I would say Cody Johnson would probably be one of my favorites. I would have to say, just because, again, I listened to him so much, and a lot of songs, and have been inspired by him and his stories, and a lot of memories have been made that have created songs I've written listening to Cody or going to Cody. So I'd probably say I stick with Cody Johnson, honestly. Probably.
Did you chance to meet him ever?
I've not. I've met Trent Willman, producer. We've actually we wrote one of the songs on the album. It's one of my favorites. I love it. Took that one out. But he's a great guy, very nice guy. But other than that, no, I've never met him. But
have you had a moment like we meet an artist or someone, you're just kind of like, whoa, I can't believe I actually just met that person? Like, you're starstruck a little bit?
Yeah. Coetzel, I met him in the back of Larry Joe Taylor Fest. And I was a little out there, but it was cool. I was like, holy crap, it's Coetzel. It was fun.
He's been rising a bit too lately.
What was that?
He's been rising a bit too. Like he's
probably. Oh, yes, he has. Him and Parker, and it's good to see those guys, continue to grow for sure.
Yeah, no, Parker, I don't guess he's probably had that for a few years now. He's on like a major label and stuff. And got that new EP, which, I mean, basically, I was a fan of, like, I really liked, like, I think it was 6 songs, like basically all of them. Very good. And I think Pretty Heart's gonna go #1 in the next probably week or two. So
crazy.
Yeah, so crazy. Good for him. Yeah. So then you answered that. So do you have a favorite song that you've written so far? Is like one of this new record, or is it one of your past songs? Or
favorite song I've written, as of right now, it changes. I think I look at my favorites as the process. So I think my favorite process of the song was Forgot About You.
Okay.
I had that idea. I was coming home I was still living in Texas, I believe. And I was going out here in Nashville, and I passed my old exit sign, and I used to live with my ex-girlfriend back in the day, who we're still friends. But during this time, we were going through a real bad breakup, and it was about 6 months after we broke up, and I haven't thought about her in a while. and I passed that old exit sign, or that exit sign 199.
Right.
And then I started remembering, I was like, holy crap. Yes, no, literally those whole lyrics are like the whole story in my head.
Right.
And so I passed that exit, and it is exit 199. And I remembered, holy crap, last week was her birthday. And that's something I would never forgot.
Right.
Ever. You know, that's something you would always remember. And I was like, I just remembered, I forgot about her. And I was like, holy crap, I need to write that. So I went to breakfast with Alex the next morning, and I brought that up. I had to write with my buddy Andy, who I write with a lot. Mm-hmm. And I just remember going into the writing room with that idea, and just when you, as a writer, you feel the energy in the room, and it was that song we wrote in like 30 minutes. It was the coolest, one of the coolest experiences I've had. But honestly, One Day might be my favorite sound wise. I love that sound. It's a cool vibe. I wrote that with my mom, Jamie, Renee, and Andy Wills. So lyrically, or the process wise, Forgot About You would probably be my favorite. Okay. Or One Day would be musically my favorite.
I guess it kind of speaks to like what you were saying, like how you like write based off like all your real life experiences and how it just all unfolds like that.
For sure. You know, I try to stay true, and I try to just be as real as I can be for the people that listen to the music. Pretty much a lot of the stuff I do write are real life experiences or feelings that I've felt in the past or currently. Or I really do try to stay as an artist on paper, you know, as I am that I show on Instagram.
I think that's honestly the best way to do it, because then people can like, I've heard it like someone say before, if you've gone through it, there's probably like a million other people who have as well. So then people can just really
right. Exactly.
Because sometimes like, I don't know if there's any artists where you just like hear something like, you're like, wow, they're like saying it how I would, they're speaking right to me. Or
exactly.
Some artists, sometimes like some Luke Combs lyrics, I'm like, wow, that's like exactly how I would think or how I would say that or something.
And I think as an artist, and or at least I believe as an artist and a songwriter, I would love to hit somebody with a song that they can relate to emotionally, or, you know, physically, or something that's going on in their life. Does it help them? Does it help them get through it?
Right.
Or does it help relate to them? That's really my goal as a songwriter and artist. And I guess you had asked what do you expect out of this album. I think a better answer would be a lot more songs that I've put my heart and feelings. I've never gathered my emotions or feelings into an album like this. I think this is just true. It's me. We were trying to build the foundation. I think everything we've released before this led up to this album.
Okay.
And I really do believe this is, it's me. It's 100% me. And I'm glad I got to write a lot of it. So, and
pretty vulnerable in terms of like the songwriting stuff goes.
Yeah. Define vulnerable. I'm sorry.
You're putting yourself out there basically, kind
of. Yeah. 100%. That's funny. I didn't even know the freaking word. Yeah, it was, you know, I think because I've done it not for so long, but because the past songs I have been putting myself forward, it just allowed me to even dig deeper and find some more inspiration that could relate even more to people.
Right.
I co-wrote 9 out of the 13 songs, and the other 4 that we cut are just amazing. It's, you know, one of those that they're so good that I couldn't pass on. Right. And they're so relatable to me. That's why I was like, I have to have these. So I was lucky enough to get them.
9, you said of the 13, and then you cut the other.
We cut 4.
Okay.
And what was that?
I was going to ask that. Yeah. So you wrote 9. That's still quite a few songs.
It was a challenge. You know, with the last EP, we had written all of them. I think that was 6.
Okay.
And just that was, I co-wrote, but just that was a challenge too, you know, trying to find good material to write about. And that's, you know, can be relatable while still trying to find marketable songs. You know, trying to write 6, it's hard, but luckily we had time. We had this whole year. We started working on this in March. So I already had songs lined up then, but really this whole shutdown gave me a chance to be a songwriter, not a touring artist, you know, from Thursday to Sunday, being brain dead, completely tired from the road and just beaten down, and showing up to Nashville Monday and trying to write, you know, a freaking song. So this whole year I was able to be a songwriter. And I think that I appreciate that the most that I got out this year, was being able to be a songwriter and being able to take all of my time and efforts into writing material that I feel is me And so, yeah.
So that'll be, I guess, interesting to see then, I guess, where this record goes. I'm sure it'll make some waves. So I do have any plans maybe, or it's probably speaking too far in advance, but to put out maybe those other songs that you cut from the album in the future, you think? Or
maybe some of the songs we had cut for the album, or that we were going to put on the album, were cut from the EP that didn't make it.
Okay.
Like I said,
twice, you're not going to just.
I don't know. It's so tough. That's a tough one because me and my manager Alex, we talk about it all the time because we have 3 songs. This year we had a plan of releasing a summer EP of just party songs, and then releasing another EP in November of a mix. But then that got cut, so we wrote a ton. So we almost passed the ones that we already had recorded, quality wise. I feel like.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we will release them. We'll see. Only time will tell.
Do you ever write for like anyone else or only yourself?
No, I'd love to. Let's see. I thought I had one. There's been a couple times where I've had a co-write with some writers here, and the song turned out great. But it wasn't me as an artist. I couldn't sing it. Right. I probably could, but it doesn't fit what I do. And but they're great songs. I love them. There's been a couple times, yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I enjoy the process. Like I said, I don't write for a genre or a type of music. I write what you like, I feel, and I will apply it to what I do. But no, there's been definitely times where we've written a song that's a little bit more poppy, but that's perfectly fine with me.
Right. I can imagine like at times you're just writing so many songs, like you can't cut them all. So do you think you'll keep sending some out and see if they get cut by anyone, or?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we've got like one of the songs we wrote with Brett Beavers and Tammy McBride, one of my favorite songs, and we recorded it, and I wanted it to work so bad, but you can only force it so much to work with you. And I'm like, oh, it kills me to know that we can't, it didn't feel connected enough. And so that song probably will be pushed out.
Right.
Get pitched to somebody else. But, you do have those songs that you want it to work so bad, and it doesn't come out right. Not come out right, but it just doesn't fit you as an artist. So,
yeah. Kind of an interesting approach or take I heard on that kind of thing. Like, I think it was an interview with Luke Combs. He was saying like, I just write so many songs where I can't cut them all. So I send them out to see if someone else will cut them. But there's kind of like a stigma around town where people think, oh, if you didn't cut it, it's not good enough for me either.
Yeah.
But he's like, you can only put out so many songs like every year or two or whatever. So I just have to, I don't know, be like reasonable, I guess, whatever, like how many you put out and stuff.
Yeah. And I feel too, songs have a life of their own. I mean, you can have this idea, and sometimes in the room, it goes a different direction, but if you put a stop to it, it almost kills the momentum of the song. And you kind of just want that song to live wherever it belongs. It's going to belong no matter what, how hard you try, it's going to stick to something. And if you force it, it just doesn't come out right. So sometimes the song, you have a great idea, you go in with the plan, and then it just takes a different direction. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. Yeah.
So I guess another example of that is with Luke Combs on his new deluxe album. There was song The Other Guy. I don't know if you know that one, but I think it was Joe Fortner who was supposed to cut it back a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened there, but Luke Combs ended up cutting again instead. I guess he wanted to make that one work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sometimes it does. Yeah. Sometimes too, a song will come back to you. There was a song that we had written. I wrote it maybe back in June, and we needed one more song to cut. We were about to go in the studio to cut, and I pulled it back out of the folder and I sent it to Alex, and he was, holy crap, where's this been? I'm like, we've written so many songs, we forgot we had it on hold.
Huh. It was on hold for another artist?
No, I'm not on hold, but like I forgot we've written it.
Okay.
I was just chilling, and then sometimes you'll have that happen too. You forget you wrote that song, and you're struggling to find one to cut, and you forgot you had it the whole time.
Right. I think it's got one more question for you. So then, lastly, what can fans just expect from you, I guess, and your music in 2021? You got the new album coming out April. So what can they just expect in general, I guess?
What can they expect? Me to stay true as an artist. They can expect a lot of party songs, a lot of drinking songs, and a lot of sad songs to drink to.
Okay, yeah.
No, they can expect some country music for sure. It's nothing but country, nothing but me. So that's what they can expect for sure.
All right.
And a lot more shows, hopefully, in 2021.
Yeah, I think I only got went to one show the entire year.
And I'm not talking about the ones with tables too. We're gonna erase the tables.
Right. Yeah, I know that sucks.
It's so weird. That's what kind of made me stop. It's like it's such a weird thing, you know, to see these people. They want to have fun. It's almost like they don't know how to anymore. It's like,
right.
We're allowed to have fun. Can we drink? Right. Are we gonna get in trouble? You know.
In Texas, is it all? It's all open though in Texas a bit more.
No, not. I mean, they have tables. We played a show with Randall and Cody Hibbard, who you should listen to if you haven't already.
Okay.
There was maybe 900 people there. It was
wow.
It was outdoors, but they all had to be in chairs separated 6 feet apart. But let me tell you, Lubbock knows how to party. So when you play a show there, you're expecting to rage, and they had a great time. It was a great show. It wasn't what it would have been last year, you know, because it's just. And it sucks that it's like this right now, but I mean, it's a tough year for everybody. So I'm hoping next year everything's back to normal and we're all good together party.
But I guess like here, in Michigan, everything's shut down. Our governor just shut down all restaurants and get some stuff like
really
I don't know, past month or so, we haven't been able to go restaurants, bars, anything. And before that, bars were just like 6 to a table, so that was a weird feeling and stuff too. But yeah,
it's different. It's a different vibe, and you know, as an artist too, you thrive off that energy, and so it definitely was an adjustment you had to make on stage for sure, because you want to give them a good time. They bought a ticket, and so it was definitely a challenge, but we pulled through, and now we're just focusing on the record. And 2021, we're gonna come out brand new record and hopefully more shows. So,
all right, looking forward to it.
Hey man, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.